Yingling is an important attorney, a tax attorney, in the Scientology planet-wide conspiracy against rights and persons. She and I go way back. In 2015, the LA Times had published a similar letter from her attacking an op-ed, that time by filmmaker Alex Gibney, who had disputed the Miscavige entity's tax exemption. I posted a response and informed Yingling and Gibney, and there's a link provided here. The Armstrong Op site has a lot of information and documents concerning the Miscavigite Scientologists' criminal conspiracy against rights and persons, and the intertwined conspiracy that secured the Miscavigites' tax exemption and other undeserved benefits. You can see the introduction to the op, and there's a link here for that. I have identified Yingling as an operator, a co-conspirator, in the very long Armstrong operation, which is the criminal conspiracy against my rights and person. Mike Rinder has been a very important co-conspirator in the op almost from the beginning. Rinder writes, "To be fair, Yingling was intimately involved in the ultimately successful effort to get the IRS to reverse itself and the Supreme Court and grant religious tax-exempt status to Scientology. So at least she knows something about the subject, as opposed to her claiming disconnection is a, quote, personal choice and, quote, fair game is canceled, end quote. Then again, I was also intimately involved. Though Scientology likes to pretend I held no senior positions and know nothing, I attended numerous meetings at the IRS during the exemption process, and I oversaw the collection and the preparation of all the documents presented to the IRS. So I have a few opinions I would like to express in response to Yingling. I was also intimately involved. I am the person Rinder most egregiously victimized or fair games prior to tax exemption and after tax exemption. I am the person he most seriously and cruelly lied about in the documents he collected, prepared, and presented to the IRS. I am a person he conspired with others, including Yingling, to silence or destroy or fair game in violation of U.S. criminal statutes, civil rights laws, and international human rights charters. I am a person Rinder has continued to black PR since claiming to have left his conspiracy and to be helping his victims. I am his victim that he has treated only contemptuously since he started claiming he left his conspiracy. So I also have opinions to express and facts in support. Rinder's assertion that he oversaw the collection and preparation of all the documents presented to the IRS could be an important admission. It could also be a lie. Rinder has lied professionally for decades. He was paid to lie. He lied about me around the world. He lied under oath. He lied to criminally frame me. He lied to media, clergy, law enforcement, and governments. He lied to Scientologists and WOGs. He has never corrected the lies he told to defame, drive insane, silence, and destroy people who tell the truth about L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, and Scientologists. Rinder is not to be trusted until he tells the truth about victimizing WOGs, which he has never done. In this context, he and I share an acceptable definition for truth, the exact time, place, form, and event. As I've shown many times, Rinder has continued to serve the Scientologist conspirators' malignant purposes toward their WOG victims like me. It is easy to see that if Rinder is lying about overseeing the collection and preparation of all the documents presented to the IRS, this lie could serve the conspirators' criminal purposes. Accepting for now that he did in fact oversee the collection and preparation of all the documents presented to the IRS, this would mean that he oversaw the preparation and inclusion of all the half-truths, lies, or black propaganda in all the submissions to the IRS on which the tax exemption is based or is supposed to be based. I have not seen that Rinder had made that specific claim or admission since he has been claiming or pretending he's speaking out, telling the truth, correcting his lies, correcting injustices, helping his victims, or otherwise doing the right thing. If he is being truthful, for whatever reason, this means that Rinder is uniquely positioned, has unassailable standing to refute and correct the lies and eliminate the unlawfully obtained and unlawfully used IRS tax exemption. To do so, he would, of course, have to tell the truth. He has had that unique position ever since he accepted the post and responsibility of overseeing the collection and preparation of all the documents presented to the IRS. As soon as he told one lie, he gained the unique position, the standing to refute and correct it. He told many lies, many hateful and destructive lies in the Scientologist submissions to the IRS to get their tax exemption. Despite gaining the unique position to refute and correct his false statements to the IRS as soon as he submitted them, and even assuming a duty to refute and correct his false statements, he has not done so. He told those lies and obtained tax exemption for a criminal purpose, to create the color of law, to shield his conspiracy against his victims' rights and persons, and award the conspirators untold millions more dollars to destroy more rights and more persons more thoroughly. He personally had the job and purpose to silence or destroy wogs who told the truth about Hubbard, Scientology, and Scientologists. So he knew that he was lying, submitting false statements to the IRS and other federal departments, and fair gaming and black PRing truth tellers for that unlawful purpose. Rinder's claim or admission that he oversaw the collection and preparation of all the documents presented to the IRS also means that my efforts over several years to get him to tell the truth have been vindicated. I am more justified in my determined and patient efforts than I even knew. And I have a quote here from 26 U.S. Code Section 7206, fraud and false statements. These would apply to Rinder and the Scientologist submissions to the IRS. Fraud and false statements. 1. Declaration under penalties of perjury. A person willfully makes and subscribes any return, statement, or other document which contains or is verified by a written declaration that it is made under the penalties of perjury and which he does not believe to be true and correct as to every material matter, or aid and assistance, willfully aids or assists in or procures, counsels, or advises the preparation or presentation under or in connection with any matter arising under the internal revenue laws of a return, affidavit, claim, or other document which is fraudulent or is false as to any material matter, whether or not such falsity or fraud is with the knowledge or consent of the person authorized or required to present such return affidavit, claim, or document, it continues, shall be guilty of a felony and, upon conviction thereof, shall be fined not more than $100,000, $500,000 in the case of a corporation, or imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both, together with the costs of prosecution. What Rinder and the Scientologists submitted with all of the false statements, all of the black propaganda, is a very serious matter. Rinder cannot be trusted to refute or correct his lies in some secret setting with government agents. Just see what he and they negotiated last time when they had their secret chums negotiation party. He has to refute and correct the lies he told about me to me in a form that is usable for public and legal purposes. He has to come clean to his victims. Mike Rinder's victims' lives matter.